My name is Randy Bigley. Joining me right now on the podcast is Tabetha Linn. She's from B.O.R.N. She's a director out there. B.O.R.N. is B.O.R.N.
Yes.
What does that stand for?
Bucyrus Outreach and Restoration Network.
And what all do you guys do?
We help people with emergent needs towards utilities, your gas, your rent, propane. We actually help with like your mortgage payments, temporary housing for homeless and transients, rides to doctor's appointments, or if you need a temporary ride to work. We do work readiness for if you need work boots or a pair of jeans or a t-shirt. Help with collaborating with other organizations in the city and their county to fill in the people that fall through the cracks. There's some people that don't fit age requirements for some, or the financial requirements for others, so we try to help them or share as many resources as we can.
You know, it's kind of frustrating when you're looking for help but you don't qualify, right?
Right.
And that happens quite a bit.
It does.
Yeah.
We have a lot of clients that are very frustrated sometimes, and they either don't know where to turn, or they don't know who helps do what, or anything.
It can be very confusing, can't it? Yeah, it can. And then you guys really help out with that, right?
Yes. We have a lot of clients that have never been in the place to ask for help.
Oh, really?
Some have and some haven't, and they are the ones that truly don't know how to fix this. How do I get out of this mess? And some of it is due to injury at work, some are loss of something happened that set them behind, illness. A lot of different things affect so many different people.
With the pandemic, I bet you guys were busy, weren't you? Because that, unfortunately, that set a lot of people behind, or set a lot of people that either were ill or lost their job, or, I mean, it really changed a lot of stuff.
It did. We had, it was a little bit slow while everything was closed. And then for a while we were only helping like over the phone, and they'd email us their information and we'd do it that way. But we've been back open for about a year now, and dealing in person with things.
And it says you also help with education too, don't you?
We collaborate with Job and Family Services and NC State and Pioneer to try to help people, put them in touch with people that they can look for grants or GEDs, because I don't know if any of them know that you can get your GED, and there's organizations out there that'll help you do it for free.
Yeah, sure,
So we've tried to fill in gaps, I guess you could say, where some organizations are limited as to what they can and can't do for various reasons. We try to research and try to fill what we can and help where we can. And
and you know, like I said, a lot of people are just, I think they're kind of scared sometimes too, aren't they?
They are.
And you guys kind of help,
especially if this is like a first time they've ever had to ask for help. Or they have just really had one thing after another knock them down. And
sometimes in life you just feel like everything's
we've had some that it does. They're just like, I just can't keep standing up. It's like every time I get on my feet, something happens. And well, some people have funding to do a lot of things. Some of our clients, they just live paycheck to paycheck, their budget. So one thing that sets them behind, it really throws their whole budget in world out of place.
It takes one, your car breaks down or something, or anything, or you're having a hard time paying a utility bill, which happens a lot of times now.
We have a lot that seem to have to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Exactly. No, and that's very common these days, believe it or not.
So we have one of the resources we put in our resource folder. We have a folder we give to all of our new clients that has like a variety of different things to help with different needs, or places they can go, like brochures for other places. One of them is a budgeting page. Because a lot of were never taught that, and so we encourage them to fill out a budgeting page to see where they stand financial, because some of them, they don't know where they're spending all their money, and to have it written down is like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize spending this much for this, or we're paying this much for this, and
it's easy for that paycheck just to disappear, isn't it?
Yes.
And not know, where did it go?
It is.
That happens to a lot of people.
And so
yeah.
they, we try to just encourage them any way possible. We are a Christian nonprofit, so we try to pray with every client that comes in, and all of our funding comes directly from donations and fundraisers.
Sure.
We have, between churches, some businesses, and individuals is where we get most of our funding from. And then we have fundraisers to help fill in the gaps. And COVID sort of threw all that for a loop for a while.
I imagine so. Fortunately, we're getting on the other side of it.
Oh, thank goodness, because it's very frustrating.
It would be, I would imagine.
So many people.
Oh, yeah. Every day it's frustrating.
It is.
You also, I see you guys network a lot too, right?
Yes, we do. We, a lot of our churches and even the businesses have different things that they do, or not just like self-help or recovery programs, but some of them will have a Bible study or different classes, or they offer different services that a lot of people don't know. And so we try to, doing our interviews, we try to feel them out to see what needs they may or may not need, or if we encourage them if they know they need counseling, try to encourage them to go seek counseling, because some of them put stuff off and they don't, you know, I know I need to do this or want to do this, but they don't always, sometimes they just need that little bit of extra encouragement.
I mean, it's scary too. I mean, you know, I can understand that. I've had family members that have needed help and stuff, and it's hard to ask for help, I think, sometimes for some people.
And some of them are very open to, they just need someone to listen to them and someone to talk to. And we've had some that they're very set in their ways, and I just really enjoy being a part of B.O.R.N. God led me there, and there are days I'm like, what were you thinking? But others, I know that He put me there because I enjoy people.
Sure.
I love being able to see someone who was struggling, and in the end of everything, they're making steps and they're ahead, and they're happy, and they're like, thank you so much.
It's going to make you feel really good when you're able to help somebody like that.
And we try to call the other organizations that we work with and say, hey, this person needs this and this, and it's not something, can you possibly, do you know who helps with this? So if we don't know, we try to find and help them, because we don't want them to leave the office without some way of being helped.
And the great thing is that you guys offer one-on-one interaction. I mean, they're not sitting in a group of people.
No.
You actually, you're one-on-one with them, and that's going to make you feel more comfortable too.
A lot of them it is. The only time we probably have more is when we're training a new volunteer, and then we usually have an extra person, or we'll swap out the regular listener interviewer for the new person.
You ever have people that you help volunteer with you now too?
We've had a few offer, but they've never come in.
Right.
Volunteers is actually something that B.O.R.N needs more of. But in collaborating with some of the other nonprofits and businesses, volunteering is something everybody needs.
Sure. Oh yeah, you're right. Well, there seems to be a shortage of volunteers right now.
Yeah. And it's not just like nonprofits, it's businesses and churches, and there's so many people that could fill so many different needs, and it's just finding the right ones to plug into to where, and have the heart to care, to want to help people.
If someone would like to volunteer, they're listening to this, say, you know what, I would like to help out with B.O.R.N. How can they do that?
They can call the office. We are at 222 East Rensselaer Street. We are right next to Salvation Army in the old Pacenik Center. You may call we're there Mondays and Fridays 9 to noon, and Wednesdays 1 to 5. But you can leave a message anytime at 419-522-2150.
What if someone says, I really can't physically volunteer, but I'd like to donate?
Yes, they can. They can make donations. out to B.O.R.N,
Mm-hmm.
and send it to P.O. Box 222, Bucyrus, Ohio 44820, or they can drop them off at the office.
Yeah.
But we also try to, in the winter, hand out hats and blankets and gloves, and blessing bags are year-round things. So we've found there are other needs that people need, like the homeless sometimes need a sleeping bag or a tent or a tarp or carry bags, and so we try to keep the extra things. There's a lot of things that we don't carry, and we refer those to the different clothing banks or soup kitchens and things.
If someone's listening to this and they have maybe themselves or a family member that could use some help, how do they get a hold of B.O.R.N?
They can call the office at 419-522-2150, or you can go to our website as www.bucyrusborn.com, or you can email us at bucyrusborn@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for coming in
You're very
today.
welcome.
It's very, I love what you guys do. I think it's
Thank you.
fascinating. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.